What?
Ready? Okay. Hello.
That wasn't a good start right there.
I can do it.
Does this need to be picked?
No, it's going.
Hello. My name is Boscha. This is my senior capstone presentation. And I'm going to tell you who I am, where I'm going, and how did I get here. So who am I? I was born on May 29, 2003 to my wonderful parents, Rick and Mary Boscha. Those two people, if you know my parents, I'm basically the identical twin of my father. I was born in Bozeman, and we lived in Gallup Gateway next to Broken Heart Range for a while. I loved living out there. And then I have a 20-year-old brother who graduated from Manhattan Christian in 2019, and he's currently enrolled at MSU, and he's going to be a junior. And he's studying business right now. And that's my dog, Russell. He's very nice. Some of my hobbies are racing. As you can see, I'm a pro racer myself. This is the sim rig that I bought for summer working money, with my summer working money, just to spend some time. And Riley Schott is the one who really got me into racing. F1 racing is the main racing that I watch, and I'm starting to get into touring car racing. And with who I am, I totally butchered this already. I was supposed to have a theme with the speed, and snowboarding is the theme that I chose because that's something very important in my life. There's a couple of pictures, me and my brother and my dad go up to Bridger Bowl a lot. This is my first snowboard that I've ever had. It's a Burton Punch. It's 130 centimeters, which is very, very short. And my first memory of this one is being on the very baby trail in Bridger Bowl, and I had a walkie-talkie, and I was there by myself. And my dad and my brother were on the other side of the mountain. And I couldn't fit my boots in my bindings, and I would spend hours on end trying to fit my boots in the bindings. And I just kept on calling my dad, I don't know how to get my boot in the binding. And I spent the whole day, couple hours sitting there on the bench on the top of the hill, not snowboarding. So that was my first day. A couple times on the first day I managed to get it in, and then you fall down and you learn, and that's the start of your life. You get to know who you are. And with snowboarding, falling down is the main part of how you learn, just like in life. How did I get here? Again, my parents are a huge part of who I am. That's a wonderful photo of them. In the 80s. Again, my dad is basically me. My mom doesn't like that. Sometimes it drives her a little bit insane. My parents are from Racine, Wisconsin. They moved out here when they were 23 years old, and they had me and my brother, and they taught us how to work hard, respect others, accept learning. When they first moved up to Big Sky, they had no friends. Or no money and no experience with anything. And their first job up there was selling newspapers and phone books to everybody up there. So they started from not that much. And work, I know it's not the hardest job, just like Justin probably knows. But I worked at Rosar's for a while, and that's taught me really good life lessons, especially with social skills and talking to people. I was a bag boy. And I mowed for a while before that. There's one of my first signs that I had mowing lawns. And then with life, as you get older, you have to try new things and starting with snowboarding. I go from this snowboard to this one, which is arguably my favorite one. This is the Nitro Squash. It's 159 centimeters, so it's a pretty big jump from this one to this one. I did have some snowboards in between this one. I don't go from that small to this big very fast, but this is one of my favorite ones. And on this snowboard, you go from falling down on this one all the time to falling down a little bit less and learning how to turn, learning how to slow down on your own, not just falling over and slowing down by gravity. But yeah, another thing, traveling is a huge part of who I am. There's a couple places that I've been. I'm very lucky to have been with my parents. Why is it so funny? They've had a love for traveling been brought down to me and my brother. I don't know what I'm doing in some of these pictures, like the Panama Canal one. I don't look very happy. Another big thing is my relatives, like my grandparents, they were from the Netherlands. We got to go see it. That's the church that my grandparents went to when they lived there. They moved over here when they were 19 years old. And then just to go over there and see all of my relatives and see that, you know, the world is a pretty small place and it's pretty easy to explore and see where you've come from. That's something I want to do for the rest of my life, either have a job or that has given me enough money, or just have a job that pays me to go around the world. Next thing is my faith. That's my first memory of church in the Gallatin Gateway Church. That's Logan Leap. I was in the Christmas play. I was a cow. He was a sheep. My only line was that he rushed over with the microphone and I said moo, and he said bah. My brother was an angel. But I went to Gallatin Gateway Church for a while when he lived out there. We attended regularly, and we had a really strong connection. And then all of a sudden we left the church, and then we went to different churches, and then we went to a different church, and then tried a different one for a very short period of time. And then after I grew up, my parents told me that the pastor of the first church, the Gallatin Gateway Church, the pastor said some inappropriate things to my mom. And before that, I had a really good relationship with the pastor. Like my dad had his appendix taken out, and I would spend the night. When my parents had to spend the night in the hospital, and he fed us and all did the things. He picked us up from the bus stop every day, and made sure that we were okay. And then our mom would pick us up and take us the rest of the way home. So I had a really strong connection with the pastor. He was somebody in my life besides my parents who I really look up to. And then just to get that bomb dropped on you kind of sucked. But Manhattan Christian, well, after that, I found that out. I never really had anybody in my life to bring me back to God and kind of keep me with the faith. But the Manhattan Christian has been not the one to bring me back, but to keep me right there. Just to know that He's still there and He still cares for us. That's something in my life that I really, really do want to restore in my life. And going back to my relatives, my grandpa, my dad's dad, he's also was one of the people who kept me and my brother, I think, with God, with the faith. Every time we'd see him, he'd tell us verses and tell us stories and how to use it in our life. And he's just a really good person. Where am I going? Okay, the last point, the last snowboard. This is my current one. This is the Yes Pick Your Line. So I went from the smallest snowboard of the family to the biggest one. My dad's one and my brother's one is smaller than this one, so go me. So on the first one, you go from falling down all the time, crying, not wanting to do it anymore, having your dad yell at you to just get up and do it again. To the next one where you're connecting turns, but you're still falling down. You're having a little bit of easier time controlling yourself. And then to this one, just knowing what you're doing, maybe trying a few tricks, I guess. But just to know what you're doing and have a plan that you want to go in the future. So that's what all these snowboards represent for me, because it's a really big point in my life and my family's life. So where am I going? I want to go to Gallatin College next year. I think just to get my foot in the door to college and kind of get a business degree. And then eventually after that, I want to go into real estate because my neighbor's a real estate agent and he's very nice. For my senior project, something that's shaped me this year. When first hearing about the senior project in the apologetics class, everyone's grumpy and everyone's at the start of senior year and everyone hates Mr. Camps. But after figuring out what my project was and presenting it to Mr. Camps, I actually really did like the project and the idea of my project. I think the school did like the project in the end. So here's some more pictures, and if you looked out there and saw my board, there's better pictures on there. But this is, what was I going to say? I totally blanked out.
Brokenness?
Oh, brokenness and goodness. That was the theme that I chose in my speech. That was the thing I chose for my speech. The basketball court was in decent shape, but it could have been the highlight for the playground that the kids wanted to enjoy. And there's a page on Instagram called Project Backboard that I really found, and I found the design. And chose this one and kind of tweaked it a little bit to do our own. And my dad's a painter, and Sherwin-Williams was nice enough to give us some paint for a pretty cheap price, and just went on with that. In conclusion, I have lots of goals and ambitions in my life that I want to do. Travel the world, like I said, meet new people, try new things, stay close with my family, grow with God in the process, and yeah, thank you.